Morning. This is Diane Peters from jcharvestinvestments.com. I think I'm always used to saying good morning because that's just something I say, but honestly, it's afternoon. The sun is out. They said it was going to rain today in the Northeast, and it's not raining. The sun looks like it's coming out, so I'm very happy. I hope you're having a great day. Today, I want to talk about ego. You know, I think I've mentioned in the past that that's one of my, and I call it a weakness. I'm not going to call it a strength. Because ego lies to you a lot. Ego makes you think that you know what you're talking about and who you are and what you're all about. But honestly, what ego has done for me is it not allowed me to take in what other people are saying about me or get offended when people are telling me how they view me. I used to get really offended until I realized my ego's not doing me any good. So I kind of got rid of it. I'm working on it, put it that way. So for me, I have to tell you, as an egotistical person, historically, I always thought that everything I said was 100% right. And anybody else that told me anything otherwise was completely wrong. And if you came at me and you were saying I'm wrong, boy, could I just argue you down and had no compassion for you. I'm so happy that Diane is gone because right now what I've recognized and through experiences in my life, I've been humbled in some scenarios. I think I told you about one of the worst car accidents I ever had. That was, to me, as far as I could see, a life or death situation. That really made me realize who's in charge of my life because there's no way if I were to take my ego and my attitude when my car was turning to the left on 95, going to hit that divider, and the last thing I said was, God, there's nothing I can do. Close my eyes. I don't even know that my car hit that divider, okay? But I do know it hit another car to the right of me. I do know that it hit a car in front of me, and then it landed down. Well, it was at that point I knew who's really in control here, and it's not Diane. And so funny, before that, my prayer was, God, I don't understand when you say let go and let God. Believe me, at that instant, I knew, because I had to let go. So for me, that was my starting point, and that was in 2008, and I'm still on that journey. And I'm still trying to learn about where is ego really important. And when I look at it, it's really not important that I be so egotistical or think or be a perfectionist. It's more relaxing, I'm finding, just finding out who I am, being able to take in, now that I've let go some of that ego, being able to take in critiques. I look at people giving me, Diane, you're this way, is not so much as a bad thing. It's always something that I'm always wondering, well, am I really that way? That's how they see me? Well, if that's how they see me, then without me realizing it, I probably am being that way. Not intentionally, mind you. So this has also given me more compassion for people, especially if I realize they're not at that point where they want to be. And for me, this is my truth. I want to be authentic. I want to be truthful. I know that my personality may appear that I'm very aggressive, may even still appear that I'm very egotistical, but I know inside of me that what I am is a lot more compassion than I was historically, have a lot more empathy for people than I did before. Somebody in my current life said to me, Diane, you'd make a good manager. Well, back in the day, when I was in my 30s, I would have made a good manager. Because I'll tell you right now, I've made secretaries cry. So back then, I know I was not good at managing people. Because I was so caught up in my mission, my goal, what I needed to accomplish. And I realized that's not a good manager. Because when you're taking care of people or when you're in charge of people, even dealing with my clients, at that point I wasn't a salesperson. You really have to have compassion for people. And you have to know that everybody has a story. And kind of that's what happened to me. I knew that everyone, if I had a story and I had a history and I look at God, God is patient with me. Who was I not to be patient and considerate of other people? Who was I not to consider other people more important than myself? Now, like I said, for me, having the ego that I'm trying to continue to just not lower, maybe even completely get rid of, I realized it was better for me to think that way. Because in that way, when I think that way, I'm always going to put the needs of other people before myself. So it works for me. And I have to say that because I'm very competitive as well, which is another thing. But I've never really competed or compared myself to other people. I've always competed with myself. And once I've accomplished one of my tasks, I always think about what's the next step. So that's the kind of personality, like I said, I've learned to tone down a little bit. But I do know that the one thing I'm very happy about is that I've learned to accept other people as they are. I haven't perfected, but I do know that I'm working in that area. Because no matter who that person is, I don't care what the worst thing anybody says about them, I always think, well, they've got a story. I wonder what happened to them. I wonder how they got that way. And that I never thought of before. If I met you at a point where you annoyed me, you were this, you were that, or I had a view of who you were, that's who you remained. But now, today, I can honestly say, I'm always looking at someone and saying, that wasn't a great relationship or a great first meeting or whatever it may be. But I understand that I don't really understand this person. And I have to give them a little bit more mercy and grace. Because I felt like if God can do that for me, who am I not to hold it and have it for others? So that helps me. Like I said, even sometimes when I know initially, I can get ruffled. Somebody can say something, and sometimes my tongue is very quick, and I can give you a response really quickly. I have to tell you, afterwards, I'm always thinking, wow, I shouldn't have been that reactive to that situation. I really should have. And I can tell you, I never historically would do that. It's like, hey, you pluck my nerve? Okay, I'm going to pluck yours 10,000 more than you pluck mine. That was my attitude before. I'm just being honest here. Because if you got in my way, I'm running you over. And I don't care how big you think you are. I always thought I'm bigger than you. I have a funny story. My husband is like 5'11". And so I used to wear like these 5-inch heels. And I'm honestly only 5 feet. So I can remember, I don't know how soon, whether we were dating or we got... Anyway, at some point, I know we were into our marriage for a while. And I stopped having to wear high heels. As you heard, that car accident I had. And he was standing on one stair, and I was on another. No, I was standing on the stairs, and he wasn't on the stair. And it was at that point I said to him, wow, I didn't realize you were that much taller than me. And mind you, I've been going out with this guy, been married to him 10, 12 years, and I'm just realizing that he's 5'11" and a half. So that tells you, I had the Napoleon theory. I thought I was bigger than I was. So I'm so happy you listened to me today. And I could talk on and on about my ego, but I'm still a work in progress. For those of you that know me out there, I'm still a work in progress. And I thank God that He has allowed my life to slow down a bit, take in deep breaths, and recognize the only one perfect is God. And I don't have to be, and I'm not. Thank you so much for listening to me today. Listen, it's Friday. I hope you have a great weekend, and we look forward to talking to you next week. This is Diane Peters from JCHarvestInvestments.com.